Good afternoon, everyone. It's Eric here from African Art Talks with Eric, and I'm so happy to come your way. Today is a special day, and I'm so excited about this program. I know that you will be enjoying this program as well. So do me a favor right now, share the link right now, invite all your friends to come and join us this afternoon. I've got a special person whom I can't wait to introduce. So do me a favor, I'm just going to play back the music. Share the video, invite your friends, and let's have fun talking about art. You know what we do? We educate, we make sure that we promote, we elevate. So do well to share the video right now. Good afternoon. Welcome back to the show. And I'm so happy to have you right here, right now. Happy that you've actually shared the video. Happy that you've invited your friends to come and join. And as I said, this afternoon is going to be totally different. It's going to be awesome. But as we usually do, the program is so educative, and I'd like to talk more about the Adinkra symbols, which we've been talking about since we started. Now, the Adinkra symbols, a number of symbols, we have about 146 of these symbols, and they emanate from the Akan tribe of the Ashanti Kingdom. Talk about the Ashanti, the Fanti, the Bono region, basically the Akan tribe in Ghana. And it's been in existence since the 18th century. I would say from 1810 to about 1820, there was a king that started designing these symbols, and his name is Nana Adinkra. And Adinkra has been around for so many years. We've got people using it for artifacts. We've got people using it for T-shirts, people using it for jewelry and all sorts. But today I'm going to pick one of them so that we can learn more about each of them. Every week, I'll be talking about one symbol a week, so that we can really get to know what this symbol, the Adinkra symbols mean. And today's symbol is called Akofena. Akofena meaning the sword of war, the sword of war. And this symbolizes courage. It symbolizes valor, heroism. And in the ancient days, you know that they went to war a lot, but this reminded them of their history of bravery. So in every way of your life, you know, you got to be brave. Life is a war in itself. You got to wake up ready to war, not in a violent way, but be ready to take on life challenges head on. And my guest today is no other person who would be talking about this. I know that he is in favor of taking life on every single day. But I want you to make him feel so welcome. He is somebody that I've been following for years. I tell you, since 2009, I've been following him. He is my mentor. He's somebody I admire. He's somebody that there are no words to describe him because I follow every step of his. I quite remember back in those days when I first came across him on the internet, and he was sketching everywhere he went on the train. So guess what I did? I also started sketching on the trains. And look at some of the work that I produced as a result of it. I started sketching every single day on the train. And these are a few of the things that I did in 2011. He inspired me so much. And I've always been an artist, but in 2011 is when I decided that I'll go back to this craft because of my guest. So guys, join me in welcoming my guest for today. He is the vice president of a Royal Oil Painters Association in the UK. He's got so many accolades behind him, which I can't mention because of time, but he is a multi-international award-winning artist with so many awards behind his name. He is a presenter on BBC One, The One Show as well. But welcome, Adebanji Alade. Hey.
Hello.
I can't even find the words, but I'm so happy to have you on this show.
You're most welcome. Look, I know I've known you for a while now, so I'm like, I've got to do this, and I'm happy to be here and happy to share whatever you have, whatever questions you have.
My goodness.
Yeah.
My goodness. I remember, I'm going to show a picture. We met in Malaga. That was the first time we physically met, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it.
Amazing. I mean, after about 11 years, I got to meet him physically in Malaga airport. I had to run and say, hey, Banji, it's me, it's Eric.
I remember that day, man.
That's right. So how are you doing today?
Well, I'm fine. Yeah, I'm doing well.
We thank God. So we'll dive straight into the questioning side of things because of time. But I know that this wouldn't be the only first time that I get to interview you, because the depth of knowledge and what you bring into the art world is something that, it blows my mind. Seriously.
Brilliant. I'm happy to share anything today. Art's my passion. I love it. And so let's roll.
Lovely. Let's keep it rolling then. So if someone may ask, who is Adebanji Alade? Who are you?
So my name, I'm going to say it the way it's said because it's an African show. So my name is Adebanji Alade.
There we go.
Alade. And that means, Adebanji means I woke up with a crown on my head. Wow. And Alade, it means a prince. Okay. So all my names have something to do with royalty. But
that's right.
I'm not going into that. I'm just saying that's the meaning of my name. I'm a Nigerian. I'm also British. I was born in London by Nigerian parents, so I share dual citizenship.
That's right.
And I'm purely, first and foremost, I'm an artist. So an artist being the sense that I'm a painter, and that's my primary thing is I'm an artist, I'm a painter. But apart from being an artist and a painter, Adebanji Alade specifically loves sketching. So he calls himself the addictive sketcher. So anyone would know me more for my sketching than my painting, even though I'm primarily a painter, but I believe sketching is the key to all arts. So mainly I'm more, I would say I'm more of a sketcher. All my paintings start with a sketch. Everything I do starts with a sketch, addictive sketcher. Apart from that, I teach art. So I teach in two art schools. I teach at the Heatherley School of Fine Art. I also went to the Heatherley School of Fine Art from 2003 to 2005. I also teach at the Art Academy in London, and I teach in both schools, both art schools. I teach drawing and painting from a life model or life figure, portraits and figures. Then another thing I do is motivational speaking. I like to inspire the upcoming generation. So I go into schools under an establishment called Learning Performance, and I deliver tailor-made motivational speeches and workshops for students so that they can use their right brain, not only left brain, but their creative side in their studies. And I do that a lot. I also run my own workshops and deliver demonstrations to art societies and schools and people on one-to-one. The other thing I also do, so many things, but I present art documentaries on the One Show. Whenever they need an artist to present an art documentary where they also want some drawing or painting to be done alongside the presenting, then they get me on board, because what they like is the variety that I bring. I'm not only reporting about the event, sometimes I include my sketching and drawing and painting with the presentation, and that has helped a lot. And I belong to 2 art societies, no, 3 majorly. The Royal Institute of Oil Painters, of which I'm the vice president, the Chelsea Art Society, and the Guild of Fine Art Nigeria. That's a prestigious society in Nigeria, which I think I was elected way back in 2014. So that's me in a nutshell. I'm a family man. I'm married to Ruth, and I have 2 children. Joshua is 15 and Kezia is 11. We live in Gravesend. My studio's in Chelsea. In a nutshell, that is me. Yeah.
That is an amazing summary of who you are. And I know that you've reserved a lot more, because I know there's more to it. But hey, there we go. A man of many talents. You've just described so many things within your what you've just said: motivation, art, presenting, everything within this package. And God has blessed you a lot, and I'm so happy to have met you in my lifetime.
Oh, I'm happy to have met you too, Eric.
So have you always been an artist?
Look, ever since I was I would say 6 or 7 years old. What happened was my cousin, his name is Tunde Alade.
That's right.
Early on, I don't even know where he is now, but we used to live in Hackney, and he was an Arsenal supporter. And when we visited their house then in Hackney in London, and this is in the 70s, I was only about 6 or 7 years old, he started introducing me to Arsenal. I started getting acquainted to the Arsenal players, and these are players of the Arsenal team in the 70s. You're talking about people like Pat Jennings, Lee Brady, Talbot, and all them. But I got drawing these players. I got drawing these players. I got sketching these players. Then I discovered a comic called Roy of the Rovers, where the comic is all about football players.
About football, right?
Sketching and drawing exactly what I was seeing in the comic. So from the age of about 6, 7, 8, I was already drawing comic things, and football got me into that. So ever since then, like the age of 8, I say 6, 7, 8, I would have said I was into drawing. Okay,
that's right. That's right.
So the artist part of me came later on in life, because when you finish secondary school, you're going to have to start making choices. What are you going to study and all that? And when I finished secondary school in 1989, prior to that time, some events had happened in my family which were not the best of events. I'd lost my elder brother in 1988. I lost my father the very year I finished secondary school in 1989. And I lost my mother. She losing her firstborn and losing her husband in the space of 2 years. She committed suicide in 1990. So for 3 years in my life, the most devastating situations and circumstances happened. And, you know, that kind of like brought me down, because all my hopes, all my aspirations, everything just kind of like just melted away. But I had an auntie, and she was a Christian, and she decided to, like she said, while she was teaching Sunday school in her church, that she was led to bring me in, like adopt me. That's what they would call it here. Because she didn't want me to stay and something worse happened to me. She was a Christian, and she got me to church, and she made me get saved. I'm trying to fast forward this quickly. And she said, after getting saved, you need to be sure, you need to pray to God to tell you what to do with your life. You ain't going to just pick any course in anyhow. And I remember in a youth service at the Apostolic Faith Church in Nigeria, I prayed. God said, look, I've given you a talent and I want you to go and showcase to the world what I've given you. So I wanted to do architecture before. I decided to wait 1 more year and I said, I'm going for this art. And that's how my whole art career started. I went to Yaba College of Technology in Nigeria, and that's where my art career blossomed like crazy, because there, that was like that was like the whole explosion of everything I know about art. So I would say I've been an artist since young, like all of us, all children, but it really blossomed after I got to Yaba College of Technology in Nigeria.
And I can say that definitely you've lived this prophecy that came upon your life. When God speaks, he does it. It comes to pass.
It's always
definitely. You've definitely lived it, and we can all see it. And I'm not going to waste too much time because I'm so itching to see some of your works so that we can actually talk about your process, how you actually go through. And you said the Addictive Sketcher is your name. How did you come up with that name?
Right. In 2012, I was approached by a company. They wanted to do a video of my life. No. How did it start? So I work for Winsor & Newton. I help promote their colors, their things like that. So there was a guy on the set when I was helping Winsor & Newton to talk about their new colors and their new product. And later on, this guy left. I think he was with Winsor then, but he left and he started his own his own company, and he wanted to do his own videos. So he remembered me from that, and he said, "Now, can you? I'm doing a series on people who are into creativity and art and stuff." So he said he wants to do a video on the life of an artist. And so I said, that's fine. And then he came to my studio for a whole day and took almost like 6 hours of footage. The video is on YouTube now. It's only about 9 minutes. It's called The Life of an Artist. It was released in 2012. While interviewing me, he asked me, what will I say I am? And in that video, just answering him casually, I said, I would just call myself an addictive sketcher. So funny enough, there was a final year student who belonged to the London School of Arts in I can't remember the very place in London, but he was doing his final year project, and he saw that video and he decided to do his final year project in film and all that on me, and he titled that film The Addictive Sketcher. And I thought, I didn't plan that. And I thought, wow, that's a good name. So from there, I imbibed the name Addictive Sketcher. And it all comes from me sketching every single day. Like, I believe I was addicted to sketching because I go with my sketchbook on the tube, the train, the bus, everywhere. And I'm basically sketching like crazy, you know. Let me just bring out one of these sketchbooks just to show you the kind of stuff I'm talking about. So I will probably just be on a train with a sketchbook like this.
Oh my!
So this is, so it can be the airport, anywhere. So I'll fill up the page, just fill up the whole page, just with heads of people, endless sketching, and this has led now in October this year. Anyone can access a full sketchbook of mine. This is addictive. It's a whole sketchbook, so the world can own it now. You can see a full sketchbook of mine, and this shows the real addiction. So this book is called The Addictive. It's like his sketchbook. So the whole addictive thing is now worldwide, but it all
I can't wait to get a copy of that as well.
Yeah, it all started from me being addicted to sketching. Yeah.
Amazing stuff. And you really are addicted to sketching, because every single day I wake up, you've sketched something new, and I'm like, okay, I need to catch up. I can't really catch up now. But let's look at your paintings, and we will talk a bit more about it. There's this that I've shown on screen, and we will go into sketching first. But I wanted to start off with this one where you actually focusing. You're so laser focused on what you are sketching. The one on the left hand side. Is that what mood you get into when you get into that world of yours?
Yeah. So that shows me in my element. When
That's
I'm
it.
teaching, there's nothing else I'm thinking about on planet Earth than capturing what's in front of me. And I can give my whole soul, spirit, and body to that thing I'm sketching. So what's happening there, you can notice that my eyes are not focused on the sketchbook, that my eyes are focused on what I'm sketching. It's my hand doing the job. So what's happening there is an eye-hand coordination. And that's what I tell people, that, you know, I believe most of us, all of us, if not all of us, can do this. We have the innate ability to connect our hands and eyes and to draw what's in front of us. I didn't used to believe this was possible before, but after learning a little bit about the right side of the brain, I've known how powerful it is. So that's what I'm doing there.
Powerful. That's a powerful one. Now, I just threw in the one on the left because it is you in your studio.
Yeah.
I mean, what were you trying to portray?
Oh, this one is titled Creative Depression. I wanted to, in 2017, I exhibited this work and another one, which is the twin of that one. And that one is called Creative, Creative Expression. And this one is titled Creative Depression. This one is the dark side of being an artist, the side that people don't always talk about, because what happens to an artist is that you are your worst critic, one, and most of the time you are at the mercy of other people's loving or hating, buying or refusing to buy what you do. So you're not an essential. That's why when they talked about key workers during the pandemic, the artist could never ever come up on any of the list because we were not an essential. So even though we serve a lot in the society can do without us. You can live without having a painting on your wall. So that side is the side that sometimes, especially early in my career, I had to go through a serious bout of having been rejected, sometimes not having successful shows, not selling work. And this was the toughest time of my life of being an artist. But I had to showcase it to the world. So I wanted people talking. I wanted to generate discussions on people should not shy away from the fact that you go through struggles as a creative before you can make it. And that's why I decided to use myself as a medium or as the vehicle to show to the world, this is what happens in private. This is what we don't always hear about.
That's right. Very well communicated here. And it's important for us to know that side of your world, our world as well. As artists, we go through a lot. And as you were speaking, there are a lot of nuggets that I'll be repeating for people to capture the wisdom that is coming out here right now. So if you hear me repeating what you've said, it's for our audience to know. Audience, if you have any questions for Adebanji, please type it in the comment box and I'll be more than happy to show it here. I'll acknowledge a few people who've joined the show. Mami K 3 years upon says, keep up the good work. And my own friend Kweku Amoakwa-Boadu says, oh wow, a whole book of sketches.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And on YouTube, we've got Gabriel Isia from Maryland who says hello all. So people are really enjoying what's Maryland. We're going to start with the sketches. And I know that, as you said, the beginning of every artwork starts with a sketch. So why not? Let's hit ourselves with these two powerful sketches. I know that. Yeah, let's talk about it.
All right. So the work of the girl is the granddaughter of my landlord who owns my studio.
All right.
He commissioned me to paint a portrait of his granddaughter. And before I do a portrait, this is where my passion for sketching comes in. He didn't tell me to draw it, he told me to paint it. But before I start painting, I wanted to explore how I could capture this girl in drawing, in sketching. And I decided to capture her, in her element, just as a child, the spark of a child. And that's why I did this work. So this work didn't end up with a client. I kept this one. But it was for me to explore, because I think the training I received at Yaba College of Technology, the way it worked was that before you did a painting, you had to do a pencil sketch, a color off, and then the final painting. I have skipped all that now. I'm a bit lazy to do that. But this is the way it should be done. You should always do a pencil sketch, which we call value sketch, a color up, which is a colored but not exactly
the finished
one, but just to show the colors. That's all about the first one there.
Oh, so you've captured the tones really well. As you said, it's a tonal picture. So really, you can get the essence of that child in that picture really well.
Definitely. It's an exploratory process. There's no color. But when you get this right, every other thing that comes after it, you know you're going to be able to conquer it.
Amazing. Amazing. And let's talk about the one on the right-hand side. I know you have a whole series on this, isn't it?
Yeah. So I'm a big fan of black natural hair. I call it my Afro series. My mom was a hairdresser, and I remember sitting in her hairdressing salon every afternoon after school. We would we'll come to her salon, her hairdressing place, and I'll sit there, and she used to style people's hair with all the perming and all that, all the influxing. And I used to hear these women, they used to complain about how the relaxer is eating their hair and blah, blah. They used to complain. And I used to ask my mom, so why don't they embrace their natural hair? Why do they have to stretch it, to steam it, to cook it, to fry it? So I've been a big fan of natural hair. So I decided to showcase to the world the beauty of our own hair. And it's only recently I heard that in America, only 7 states will have I couldn't believe this. Only 7 states officially allow black women to don their hair naturally.
Oh my goodness.
I could not believe it. So
I can't believe it as well.
I know. So I think the Black Lives Matter thing brought this thing to life. But for me, the focus was on the beauty of natural black African hair. I love it. And I did a whole series of it. And these are my 2 friends, Atim and Ronke. They were making hair at church. And I don't miss any opportunity. So I don't take my sketchbook to church. Sunday's the only day I won't be sketching. But what I did was to take a picture of them. She was doing her hair. And immediately I saw that, I quickly made sure that I was going to use that picture to do a solid drawing of it. And that's that one.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. So you kind of answered the question here, but how do you get inspired to paint? I know you do a lot of people and places. How do you get inspired to choose your subject?
Okay, so there's 2 things that capture my attention.
Okay.
It's people and places.
That's right.
When I look at a human being, I am in awe of every human being. Like, I'm in awe of the human face.
Okay.
Like I could sketch people's faces all day long because no 2 faces are the same.
True.
And even the same face under different lighting conditions will actually be different. And I love the beauty, the texture, people's moods, people's emotions. My role and goal is to capture that. And I can't, if I'm talking to you, I'm already thinking, how would this guy look if I brought some light from the angle? How, you know, so that's the fascinating thing. And then with places, I get inspired because, look, I wanted to study architecture before, God intervened. So I love buildings, right? The whole thing about structure, I love it. Then when you come into having organic things combined with architecture, what I like about is that when the light shines on a particular place, it can change the whole mood. So I love places and the moods and the different times of the day, and to capture that essence, boy. So I could go somewhere in the morning and it could have a mist on it. I love to capture that. I'm like, wow, I've got to get that. And then as the mist clears up and the sun shines, you could get some long shadows and the effect of light on a place. Boom, I would like to capture that.
Of the same place.
Yeah, and then in the afternoon, the light will be directly above, so it kind of gets brighter. I love to capture that. And towards the evening, when the shadows get longer and the light is going down, I can capture that because it's the effect of light on places. And then different weathers. Sometimes it could be snow. I love rain. I really love rain and the reflections. So things like that. I can't just wake up in the morning and not be inspired, because it is crazy what is out there. It's too much that to choose what you're gonna do.
Yeah,
you know, it's just like go out there and make it happen.
You're spoiled for choice, isn't it? There's so much that the artist can see.
Yeah.
So we need to capture everything. Now, when it comes to rain, and I'll be showing some of your paintings where you've captured rain, it's one of the most complex aspects that you can capture. But you do it so brilliantly. And when we get to that stage,
I love reflections.
I'll ask you how you do it, because you do it so brilliantly.
Yeah, so I love reflections. What got me into that really was, I love a guy called Ken Howard. He's Professor Ken Howard. And I went to so many of his exhibitions. I noticed how he loved reflections. He'll do it in Venice. He'll do it on the Bank of England, the pavement. I love that. So, and I bought his video, because he had a video where he showed a variety of themes and he explained how he does everything. So I'm like, oh, I must have watched this video about 100 times. So that got me into it. And so what I do, I'll go around London with a camera, like crazy with a camera. And all I'll be doing, I'll have an umbrella over my head. And all I'll be doing, I'll take 1,000 pictures of rain scenes of people. And I might only pick about 20 out of those 1,000 of pictures that will really work as a composition. But soaking the whole environment in, allowing it to really marinate into my spirit, and being there, getting soaked and wet. I come back to the studio, mesmerized with the feeling, and then all I need to do is to capture that on canvas. Boom.
Amazing. So one thing that I really get blown away, and you're showing it right now, is your passion for art. I mean, it comes through like a sword. when people are sleeping, when it's raining, you get your you get your umbrella and you take pictures in the rain.
In the rain, yeah.
Amazing. That's amazing. I mean, that's amazing. Let's carry on showing some more sketches for now. We'll go on to the paintings and let's see. So we've got these two sketches.
Okay,
let's talk about them.
This will be a typical page from my sketchbook. The first one is a statue in Chelsea of James Abbott Whistler, I think. He was an artist in the 1800s. He lived in Chelsea, and they did a statue of him with a sketchbook in his hand, and he had some sort of charcoal in the other hand. And I sat in front of this statue to capture a straight drawing, just to capture a drawing, just a pencil drawing of it. That's that one on that side, because I just love the statue, but I wanted to capture it from looking at it from below. So it looked at, if you look at it, you can feel that the person looking at this is looking at it from below. That's the kind of thing. And then the next page, this is a typical page from an A5 sketchbook. It was done on the 22nd of October 2012. And
as far back as then.
These sketches were done from Charing Cross to London Bridge, which is a 30-minute drawing. And so basically this page, the woman in front of me must have been reading the newspapers. You can see her glasses have been set low. And then there was another animal. I think someone brought a dog onto the train. The dog was so still. So all I could do was to capture the dog. And I think there was another guy at the back. So I can't see all what I've written there, but you know what? This will show a typical page of my sketchbook and how I approach life. There's no way I go on public transport, see people, and not sketch. And some people.
Let me try and read that for you. So you sketched on a bus from Plumstead, and that was on the 24th of October 2012. So every sketch you do, you try and capture the essence, the story behind it.
Yeah, exactly.
Amazing. That's amazing. So we've got greetings from Marie. My wife says, greetings, Erica and Mr. Adebanji.
Thank you, Marie.
We've both been in awe of your artworks for so much. When she heard that you were coming today, she was like, oh my goodness, I need to be a part of it.
Brilliant.
There's a question that's coming from one person, Kweku Ayakwa Debra, a friend of mine, who says, what else inspires you apart from the faces in terms of your inner self connected to nature? Let's try and understand
this question. Hold on, let me read it again. What else inspires you apart from faces in terms of your inner self connected to nature.
Yes.
Boy, it's only two things, like I mentioned. If it's not people and what they do or what they're doing, it has to be places and the effect of places and the mood and the atmosphere. Apart from that, nothing else. The thing about it, my art is not that deep where I have an inner connection. Most of what I do is the exterior. The only place where there's a connection with what I do is that I will put everything of myself into what I'm doing to be able to get a good representation of whatever I'm trying to represent in nature.
That's right. And I think you do that brilliantly well. The next sketch tells everything about it. I mean, I followed your series when you were doing the homeless guys way back. And there's more to these guys that you've captured. Can you tell us why you decided to choose homeless people at that time?
Okay, so I worked before I went into art full time in 2008. I used to work for a homeless charity called St. Mungo's. They're the largest homeless provider in London at the time. So I worked there for like 9 years. I started as a volunteer, then a part-time worker, then a full-time worker with the homeless. And my job was, when they bring homeless people from the streets into the shelter, it was my job to discover the talents that they had before they became homeless. And once I discovered the talents they have before they became homeless, I would advertise in the newspapers if anyone had those skills and are willing to volunteer their time to teach these guys and get their spark back in their lives. I did this for a long period of my life. It was when my art started getting a little bit like my art career started booming, that I couldn't combine the two, and I decided to put in my resignation letter. So that already gave me a good connection with the homeless. So I know how to talk with them. I know how to relate. So when I go on the street and I see a homeless person, I know what to say. I know how to relate. We can sit down, talk, and chat. But the key thing is, homeless faces, they have the most emotional, and structured and weathered faces ever, because they are closest to nature. This is how all of us would have looked if we didn't have these sophisticated houses. So the closest you could get to man in his original state is when you look at a face of somebody who stays out in the cold, in the sunshine, or lives outside of a sheltered place. So I love to capture that, because it's an opportunity to explore and, you know, to experiment with faces of different textures, with a lot of hair, or with deep sunken eyes, emotion. You can see in the essence of them. It's easier than painting a beautiful woman who, when you finish painting, she's going to say, my eyes did not have that kind of shape. Adebanji, isn't it? Cheek, like about it. These guys, you don't need to try and embellish the drawing. You can get raw with it. You can get gritty with it, and that's what I did. That's why I still paint homeless faces today. Yeah,
amazing. And for every artist I know,
people actually buy them. I'm actually surprised.
I mean, you do really tell the story with these strokes of yours. Every single stroke tells a story about this man. And I can actually feel the connection with this man that you captured right there.
Yes.
Amazing.
And the next one is a chief mentor of mine. He was one of the pioneer artists, or if not one of the pioneer artists in my church in Nigeria, Mr. Ajayi. He used to lecture in Yaba College of Technology. A very seasoned artist. And he was celebrating recently his 80th birthday. So his daughter, who is in London, who's also an artist, she commissioned me to do a portrait of her dad. And this, he said, is his most prized possession.
Brilliantly done. Brilliantly done. And as you said, it's like a sketch. It's not a true painting. It's a sketch. but the story of this man, every single stroke is appealing to the audience.
Yeah,
That's
you can see that and also paint and sketching old people is a lovely thing because you can get really into it. You can see the folds on his face, you can see the gray hair, even though it's not a painting, but I've used brown colored pencils and with different values, which means different light or darkness to it, to really bring out the essence of the man. You can see he's a noble gentleman.
That's right. And then the smile is coming through very lightly, isn't it, as well?
Yes.
Amazing. Amazing. The next one that I'm going to put on screen, I think is very dear to your heart. Say no more.
Yeah.
It's your daughter, isn't it?
These are like, so the thing about artists is that their children essentially become their muses, their models. And that's whether that's a plus or a minus for them. The deal I strike with my daughter is that any work I paint of her that sells, she gets 5% of the profit. So then they don't complain anymore. So the first one here is when she was, when my children were born, I was so busy, but I knew I would paint them. So I took like thousands of pictures of them in different moods. And so that one there, I call it I called it the spark and the wonder. It was, she'd just finished having a bath and she had this towel over her. But you know how children look so deeply, the emotion, like there's this innocence in their face. But I exaggerated the color to show some sort of spark. It's like they always have this look. A child can look into your soul, and if you've done something wrong, you feel like, oh my days.
She's seen everything.
Yeah.
There's that element of shock, wondering what you're doing.
Yeah. So for that one. And then this one, this was exhibited with the Guild of Fine Art in the Mall Gallery. I think not the Mall Galleries, but I think I can't remember the exact place we had this exhibition, but it was with the Guild of Fine Art in Nigeria. They had an exhibition in London, and what I wanted to bring out here is I titled this painting "The African Doll," because most of the children growing up in diaspora, they don't have enough African dolls where the girls can play with and see people that see dolls that have been created and made that actually look like them. And so I tried to depict something that shows that she has something clutched in her hand that she can identify with, because I'm a big fan of our children growing up being able to speak the language, look like them, look like us, and also see things that they can relate to, so that they don't tailor their lives too much like who they're not. I want everyone to know their roots, especially the blacks growing up in diaspora, to know their roots. So that was the whole essence of that work called The African Doll.
And that's really important, to instill Africanness in our children.
Yes.
So very well captured in there. Very well captured in there. Let's look at the next one, which is a self-portrait. And your daughter. So this self-portrait is something that I'm not sure how you managed to capture this. Did you do it from life?
No, not from life. I painted from a picture. I exaggerated the colors. And a very small painting. It's only 6 inches by 8 inches, because I was doing a project to improve my portraiture. So these are portraits, all these small portraits, like the one of my daughter on the other side. I always believe, this is one thing I believe, if you want to improve in anything, you have to deliberately practice that thing.
Right.
And so in a bid to improve my portraiture, I decided to embark on a project of 250 portraits, small ones, just painting my life away.
God.
So that's what I did. That's how I mastered plein air painting. I went to Bath and I did about 200 paintings in the space of 4 months. You just keep on practicing. It's a theory, actually. People have written a dissertation and a material on it. It's called The Power of Deliberate Practice, which means for you to master anything in any craft, you have to invest like 10,000 hours in that thing. So whenever I find myself slacking or lacking in a particular area of my art, I set up a challenge for myself and I start working endlessly. And so those are the examples you've seen there.
Banji, I'm taking notes here. I'm taking notes right here. I'm taking all my notes. 10,000 hours.
That's the way.
Yes. I remember it was around 2012 there when you were in Bath.
Yeah.
I mean, you even set a bigger challenge of 500 pieces, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I didn't make the 500. I did two. I ended up doing 212. But
the thing is,
if
you dream bigger, then even if you don't meet that, which artist is able to do 250 pieces of work? I mean, amazing. And then those days I could see you in the night painting with your light on your. I mean, you did some crazy things, and I'm like, okay,
I was
for real.
Look, I was hungry. I tell people I lost a bit of that hunger, and I've always, longing to get it back. You see, there's one thing about life. When you really want something to happen in your career, wherever you are, you've got to be hungry.
That's right.
I went to Bath to make a point, to make an impression, to make myself known. Look, prior to when I went to Bath, nobody knew me in the plein air business. There were people I would email about plein air and they wouldn't reply me. And I decided, look, if they're not responding, if no one's listening, I've got to put myself out there. So I went to the town where the best plein air painter in the UK lives. The name Peter Brown. I went to where he lives and I went to do plein air where he paints. That is
come on.
honorable. I did it because I wanted to make a statement. And you know what happened? The people of Bath now started seeing this black guy in the morning, in the dead. There was a time I was painting in the dead of the night and the police came and they're like, "Oi, what you doing?"
What are you doing here?
I said, "I'm working on my career." They laughed. They said, "Doing this?" They said, "You're crazy." Now, whenever people saw me on the street, they says, "Who are you?" I said, "I'm the Brown Peter Brown."
That's it.
They always laugh about it. But what happened? The papers, they reported it. The magazines reported it. People were talking about it. And then, because then I used to blog like crazy, the whole world started seeing it. And then all of a sudden, because of that work that I did, I started getting galleries. I started getting articles to write in magazines. People started inviting me to come and teach these things. So basically, what I couldn't do by asking people, I had to set the tone myself, go and make it happen, trailblaze for other people coming on, and bang.
There we go. And this applies to every sphere of life. If you want to be noted, put in the work.
Go and do the work. Put yourself out there. Don't worry. Look, it can go wrong. But please, just do something. The thing about it, what happens to most of us is that we go into what is called freeze mode. That is when you make a decision, but you don't act on the decision. You can make a decision, I'm going to do something, but what are you doing about it? Now, the action is where the power is.
Okay.
I could have gone there and it could have flopped. But what I would have gained in the process would have been better for me anyway. So most of the time, don't worry about the result. What you will become in the process will always make you a better man or a better woman by just the process itself. Putting myself out there, morning, night, afternoon, painting like crazy. I was becoming a better version, and we are never in competition with anyone else. We're always in competition with the best or worst version of ourselves. So you just go out and say to yourself, this version of me, I'm going to make sure I improve on it on a daily basis. Set the biggest goal, crush it.
Done. I can't wait to get more of these. Let's put this on there. I know plein air is what you talk about. And you normally center on Chelsea. What's it about Chelsea? Tell me about it.
Yeah, because Chelsea is where my studio is. So it's the nearest place in London for me to explore the area. And so, like, the first painting here is Sloane Square. This one, I did it right there and then. It's about 20 by 24 inches. I painted it over six sittings, actually, because I didn't sit to paint it. standings, I will call it, but it's 6 different days. I was trying to capture the grayness, you know, the gloomy grayness on a London day when there's no light and it's just dead and gray. That's what I wanted to capture there. And the other one was a commission. Someone saw a little painting I've done of this same riverine area in Chelsea, and they commissioned me to paint a 30 by 40 inches a version of it. And so I didn't paint this one live from there. I went there to take a series of pictures. All they loved about the area was the simplicity of the scene and the area. And yes, and that's what I did. Yeah. So
there's some calmness about it.
Yeah.
Really good, really good, really good. And then let's talk about these people. I mean, people and places, as you said.
Yeah.
So combine people and places.
Yeah. So you can see from these works that there's people, there's places, and listen, the first one here, this is in Holborn. I used to work in the building that is across the road, that building that is showing some sort of darkness. That's was a hostel, a St. Mungo's own hostel. I would cross this road every day and go to the Sainsbury's, which is on the opposite side of Holborn Station, to buy stuff. You can see a guy with an orange bag. That could be me crossing the road.
It could be you.
Yeah, it could be me. It could be it. So a black guy crossing the road, you know, with an orange Sainsbury bag. So, but what I noticed was when it rains and the rain dries up, but not completely dries up, then the sun comes out. An amazing atmosphere happens. And so right there, I stood there for like almost 30 minutes, capturing people crossing the road. What I loved about it was there was a reflection of them on the road. They also had shadows.
Yes.
And there was a great effect of light. Now, to capture that, I had to make sure that all those reflections looked as real as possible. This piece, one of my most successful pieces, the moment it hit the gallery, someone bought it instantly. It was the one of the fastest works. I've actually struggled to reproduce this because I've been looking for the exact feeling again in another location, but I have to be there. Is you wait for the rain. What has to happen? The rain has to finish raining, and then the sun has to come out immediately
to get the reflections.
To get that reflection, because it mustn't be a dead reflection. It must be a bright reflection.
And there's so much movement as well.
Yes, I love movement. That's why I sketch. So I don't want them to look stiff. I want them to still have the feeling that they're moving. And all these pieces, if you could have zoomed in, I know it wasn't a high definition picture, but everything is painted loosely so that they're not stiff, so that they don't end up feeling lifeless.
Yes.
And then the next one, this is the bus. This is the nearest bus stop to my studio on Kings Road, and I'll sit at this bus stop every day to wait for an 11 bus to take me to Sloane Square or Charing Cross, where I pick the train to go home. Now, I would sit there every day, and sometimes different people will always stand in front of me. But there was this day where this lady stood in front of me, but it was all about what she was wearing. The coat that she wore, I don't know how, it just looked like some coat of the 1800s or 1900s. So I decided like this actually contrasts the other girl who is somebody's going in front with a rucksack at the back. So
that's it. More contemporary.
The fact that I couldn't see her face.
Yes.
I titled it Waiting for You, and it was exhibited last year at the Royal Institute of Oil Painters exhibition at the Moore Gallery. What happened then was, when you put life into your paintings, it touches someone else. The woman who bought this painting, they don't disclose people who buy the paintings in the Moore galleries now because of all the GDPR.
But
this woman had to contact the gallery. She said, "You painted my friend."
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, she said, "You painted my friend." She said, "My friend in London 50 years ago." I'm like, "You're joking. This is not your friend." But I can see why, because you can't see the face.
That's
So
right.
it could be anyone like that, and the coat and everything. And she said that's the reason why she bought it. So these are the reasons why I like to show a lot of emotion of what I'm feeling at the moment, put it into painting, and if I put my life into it, it would touch someone else. Bingo.
That's amazing. The stories that your paintings do tell, they are so life-changing as well. I mean, let's have a look at this one, for instance.
Oh, that's Auburn. That's Auburn again.
This is Auburn, is it?
This is me in my element.
That's it.
Now, I love people.
Yes.
I love places.
Yes.
I love trees. I love reflections. So this is an explosion and an amalgamation of everything that I love happening in one painting. And I title it, I think I title it London Rush Hour.
And I know you love train stations.
Yeah, this is before the corona, so no one's wearing masks. I'm planning to do one this year, a very similar one, but everyone will be wearing masks. Now, this one I exhibited last year at the Royal Institute of Oil Painters, and it also sold like during the exhibition. This is one of my best because there's a lot of people. There's about 40 odd people in this painting.
That's right.
And each of them, I tried to make sure I treated them as an individual, even though the painting is a whole. And if you zoomed in closely, again, they are painted loosely, but the attention to each person, their individuality and who they are, is what comes out in this painting. But it's not all about them. It's about the London theme, the trees, the atmospheric perspective that you can see in the distance, and the reflections, which I love so much. And everything is in one whole painting right there.
Wow. You know what? Because of time, now, if you'd permit me, I'll carry on just a little bit, but I'm going to show a bit of some work that you've been doing in the community.
Okay.
Bear with me. And then not just the community, but the BBC One. Come on.
Okay.
I'm going to show a video and then we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it because I'm wondering how you got into the BBC. Let me play this video first. Let me play this video.
Third of the way through this, but now our artist Adebanji is in West London, taking on an assignment for a significant anniversary that's taken place this week.
I'm in North Kensington, where 12 months ago, the Grenfell Tower fire destroyed the homes of a community and caused the death of 72 people. As an artist, I've always found it remarkable that terrible events can inspire creativity.
I've been reading tributes to those whose lives were lost, but today I'm taking my sketchbook with me to meet and sketch some of the survivors.
Natasha lived in Grenfell Tower for 20 years.
How do you feel looking at the building every day?
For me, it's my home.
Still, I like
100%.
that. Yeah.
100%. And given the choice, I'd go home.
Are you settled now?
Nearly, just a few weeks away now, a few weeks away. I mean, I've never moved, so I wouldn't know, but they say moving is one of the most stressful things you can do in your life. But when you move with nothing, yeah, that makes it 100 times worse. And, you know, yeah, there's going to be provisions for furniture and, you know, that's appreciated.
Yeah.
But what about the photos? What about all of those things that you no longer have?
Yeah.
Your memories?
Yeah.
Everything's going to be new. Nothing old.
How about the media?
They put a label of poor, deprived, illegal immigrants. Now, I've lived on the estate my whole entire life. Not once have I thought I was poor. Okay, I wasn't rich, but I never ever thought the area was poor. I work. I have done since the age of 17. And I know the block, you know, most people working, doctors, junior doctors, scientists.
Yeah.
Why, with everything else that we're going through, should we come out and fight a narrative that's not true?
True. How has this community helped you?
What this did for North Ken was brought people together of all walks of life. Rich, poor, black, white, Muslim, Christian. You know, there are no barriers in North Kensington community. When we're low, we pick each other up and we continue moving forward.
Tiago is a third-year physics student who had lived in Grenfell since he was a baby.
At the end of the day, Grenfell Tower was my home, and this is the only place I've ever known. You don't really think about it much because it's just your home and that's it.
Yeah.
You don't realize what you have until you lose it.
How has the last 12 months been then?
They've been difficult. I'm still at a hotel, and
You're still at a hotel?
Yeah. I moved in there with my parents and my sister, and to be fair, that's the only thing that ever made anything since the fire a home. It's been quite difficult as well with university and exams at the moment. It's not easy living at a hotel and trying to study there.
Yeah.
Before the fire, education was something that I really wanted to continue forwards.
Yeah.
I do want to stay on and actually at some point do a PhD. At the same time, I also feel very passionately about the inquiry and getting to the truth.
Yeah.
And it's difficult to try and balance the two.
Yeah.
The only way that we can live our lives going forward is to understand why did it happen and make sure that something like this never happens again. I don't like to be a victim.
True.
And I just want to make sure that I don't lose my identity in all of this.
Yeah. Okay, so this is just the way I see you.
Okay. That's real nuts. That's actually me. That's really weird. That's like looking in the mirror.
There's just it's the power in your eyes. There's something about it. So, this is the way I see you.
I know, I love it. Thank you so much.
You spoke from your heart. Maybe you're a gentle giant.
I like that.
He's got a real gift, hasn't he, Adebanji? Not just
a really gentle
his art,
knack
but the
of
way he
talking
talks.
to people,
Yeah.
isn't he?
Yeah.
Tomorrow is the actual anniversary of the fire.
There we go. I mean, can I continue? Wow. So how does it feel going around the country, affecting lives? I mean, bringing out stories that are deep and really changing lives with your paintings as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I say. I mean, my art focuses on people and places, and I like to go to places to meet people, hear their stories, listen to what life has done to them or what they've experienced, and bring that out, in some way or the other through what I can do, my interview skills and also my sketching skills. So it's a combination of both.
It's a combination.
Yeah. So, but it all comes from the passion I have to go to new places and the connection I have with people. And that brings the whole thing to another level. Yeah. So,
and for some reason, I mean, to do with Grenfell, for instance, you might have brought a lot of closure for some people through the art and letting them actually tell their story.
Yeah. So, sometimes, I mean, the recordings are very short because it's for the one show. But we film for the whole day and you get to hear us so much about people. It's just amazing.
Amazing stuff. And I mean, through the one show, you've been sketching a lot of celebrities of late as well. Let me show some of them as well. I mean, people like you've got Chris Eubank.
That's Chris Eubanks there. Yeah.
And then to the right, you've got who is that? Is it Leslie Ash?
Honestly, I've forgotten her name.
That's right. I think that's Samantha Fox.
It's something Leslie.
Leslie Ash.
Leslie Ash, that's it. Leslie.
That's right.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. I mean, these are so brilliantly captured. You've got text in the background as well. I'm not sure what you've written.
Yeah. So when people talk to me and when people are telling me their stories, I listen so deeply that when I'm doing the final painting, I like to write into the background the stories that they told me.
Right.
And once I start writing, so let's say I hear something that Eubanks said, all that is etched into the background in some calligraphic strokes that makes the painting not just a background, but the story. So when you go close to the Eubanks painting, he could actually see some of the things he told me.
That's right.
And the same thing with Leslie. She could see some of the things she was telling me that day because she talked about so much. So much of a deep things he talked about, and
really
all those words and things etched into the background. So it's not just a painting of a person, but their story etched with words synchronized into some sort of calligraphic strokes into the background. So it makes it so much them and their story all into a piece of work.
That's great. Fantastic. Now let's switch it to the other side of you where you motivate the world. I mean, every Tuesday, I can't wait to come and hear you. Thank God it's Tuesday. Guys, if you want to see Adebanji in action, let's watch this clip. Let's watch this clip. And you know exactly what I'm talking about.
This is Adebanji Alade's Thank God It's Tuesday. This is the addictive sketcher. Show them. Nice one, guys. Cut. Nice one, guys. Cut. Okay, guys, cool down. Cut it. Cut all the madness. Some people don't like it, Adebanji. Right. This is the addictive sketcher. Show them. Thank God it's Tuesday. Back in 2019. What are you going to choose to do today? That's the question. Go out all for it. You heard me. Go out all for it. I want you to go out all for it this year. What do I mean by that? Look, listen. You're either all in or out. There's no middle ground, no mediocre. You're committed 100%, 150. You're all in. Yeah. See, bygone to excuses. Bygone to the blame game. Bygone to not taking responsibility. This is the year to show them the stuff you're made of. What did I say? This is the year to show them the stuff you're made of. Listen, there ain't no better time to do it. This is your moment. This is the time we've been waiting for. We want to see you in your element. I don't care what kind of creativity you're about. You might be a designer, a sculptor, a painter, a writer, an actor. Name it. Whatever your thing is, that thing that you do, that you love to do, this is the time to show the world the stuff you're made of. Stop all the excuses, the bickering, the shenanigans, whatever. Get them out. Woo! I know. I'm pumped up for this one. It's the first day of the year. Whoa! Yes, it's war. You've got to declare war. War against laziness. War against slacking. War against lack of discipline. You go all out. Did you hear me? Yes! I'm not joking. What pains me most is when I see potential dying, is when I see potential crumbling. It's a terrible thing. It shouldn't be happening in your life in 2019. So this is your moment to make that decision. Say to yourself, I'm going all in. This is Adebanji Alade's Thank God It's Tuesday. And what are you going to choose to do today? Go all in. Yeah!
I'm telling you, I feel the energy. I'm sweating right now. Your work inspire me so much, and Adebanji, I must take this opportunity to thank you. Thank you.
That's all right. Thank you, man. It's been
inspire me every day, every single day. Those of you who don't know about him, go to his YouTube channel and you'll be able to watch all these motivational messages. I mean, you do it in schools as well, isn't it?
Yeah, I do it in schools too.
Wow. That's amazing. Because of time, I'm just going to put up your handle if people want to get in touch with you. But before we do so, there is a book that you've written.
Yeah.
The Addictive Sketcher. And I want people to go and grab their copy right now. Don't waste time. Grab your copy. If you want to grab a copy, I'll put the link behind there. Can you tell us before you go just a bit about this book? And that's me on the right-hand side. Got my copy already.
Yeah, that's Eric with his copy. Well, this book is all about motivating anyone who wants to go out and sketch. So it's mainly a motivational tool. Here I share where the places that inspire me, what inspires me, just what it is, and it shows different techniques I use, the places I go, and things to sketch. Sometimes you don't know that there's things around you. So I talk about the indoor, the outdoor places you can visit, and how I've turned all those into sketches. But the key thing is to whet the artist, the maybe someone who is new to the business and they want to find an exploratory way to get in. This book will set your flame alive and make you say, yeah, if he can do it, I'm going to go out and do it. So it's mainly for people to be able to see and sketch the beauty around them. I want people to also look at people and sketch them, go to places and sketch them. That's the key element in the book.
Wow, you've really rekindled my fire right now. I'm traveling on the trains now. I've got my sketchbook. Let me show it to you. Got it right here. I'm going to be sketching. I can't wait. So if people want to follow you, people want to follow you on the internet, where do they find you?
So everything is at Addictive Sketcher. If it's Instagram, it's at Addictive Sketcher, one word. If it's Facebook, it's at Addictive Sketcher, Adebanji Alade Artist. Okay. So if you put Adebanji Alade Artist, it will take you to my Facebook page. My website is also my name, adebanjialade.co.uk.
Yeah.
It's all either you put in Addictive Sketcher or my full name, and everything will come through.
Amazing stuff. So I just want to take this opportunity to thank you. In the comments box, a lot of people are thanking you for the great show. People are watching you on their TV now. People are just blown. But I want to take this opportunity to thank you so much for honoring this invitation and being a part of this interview. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you. I hope I'll be able to share this on my page.
Definitely, please do. It's on YouTube as well. So I've sent you the link. Please share it.
Yeah, if you send me the link so I can share it on my page, maybe some people who can't tune in now, they can see it later on.
Definitely. Thank you so much, and God bless you.
God bless you too.
Thank you. That was epic. I'm telling you, I've had interviews, but this one tops them all. I'm telling you, I'm so pumped. I'm just going to go sketch it. I just want to step out and sketch right now. He set me in the mood, and I know that you also enjoyed it. But do very well to keep watching these shows, because what I do is I bring creative minds into one place so that we do not just focus on what's going on this pandemic, but we engage ourselves in the ability that God has given us to be creative. Go out there. Interacting with people is a form of creativity. Sketching is a form of creativity. Following your passion is a form of creativity. So keep doing that and make sure that you put the talent that God has given you to use. Thank you so much, guys, for joining me today. I've had a lot of friends come on this platform, and I just want to appreciate all of you who's joined me. If I haven't mentioned your name, know that you are in my thoughts. Also, do well to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, just by typing my name in there, Eric Amoakwa-Boadu, and I will show up. So God bless you so much. Thank you, and I will see you next week. Bye-bye.